I had the honor of traveling to Pun Pun Farm in Northern Chiang Mai, Thailand. Here I met with the creator of the eco-village, farmer, natural builder, freedom fighter, and public speaker, Jon Jandai. He's also part of the largest seed-saving community in Asia. It was his initiative, which is incredible. I was warmly greeted and shown to the kitchen, where they were preparing fresh food and sharing stories as I waited for him to meet with me. Here he was teaching a class of locals about natural building. It was amazing to see the bones of the structures, brick by brick, that they were laying from earth and straw. And it's just incredible to see how durable these structures were, especially from the inside. I found it to be very beautiful and larger than life, really. Liberating to know that it's so simple. If you've never heard of him, here's a bit of his TED Talk on why life is easy as preface.
Because people who clever than me, who get number one in the class every year, even they get a good job, but they need to work more than 30 years to have a house. But for me, who cannot finish university, how can I have a house? Hopeless for people who have low education like me. But when I start to do earth and building, it's so easy. I spend 2 hours per day, 5 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock in the morning. 2 hours per day. And 3 months, I got a house. And another friend who was the most clever in the class, he spent 3 months to build his house too, but he had to be in debt. He had to pay his debt 30 years. So compared to him, I have 29 years and 10 months of free time. So I feel that life is so easy. I never think I can build a house easy like that. And after that, I keep building a house every year, at least one house a year. Now I have no money, but I have many houses. My problem is tonight, which house I'm going to sleep.
I'm from America. What would you tell someone from America who lives in the cities, who wants to create something that's more alive, that's not like the death they have in the cubicles or anything like that? Someone that wants to escape that but doesn't really have access to land.
I think the main thing is connecting, because we were disconnected for a long time. We were connected from everything. The first thing, we were connected from ourselves. We don't think about ourselves much. We just think about outside. We think about what people will think about me. What do I have to wear to make people feel good? But we never think that I'm breathing now. I'm still alive. My time is not a lot. What I can do in a very small amount of time. What is the most important thing now? So this part, I feel like it's the most important thing, that we were disconnected. So we spend most of our time to think about eating, singing, our movie, our fancy car and fancy toy. We think about a lot, but we never come back to ourselves. So this part, we need to connect it again between our body and our mind first. And then we need to connect it with our food. Where does our food come from? Most of people in the city don't know.
Right.
That means we don't care about our life, our health, because we don't know what we are eating. We don't know how do they grow it. What is in there? We don't know. So if we connect it with our food, we try to know where is our food come from. That means we need to connect it with farmer. Try to go visit farmer who grow for us. And then if it's possible, we connect with farmer and then they can deliver it to us directly. That's the way we can make the organic food very cheap price. And in the same time, we can support farmer who grow good food for people. When we eat good food, everything will be good.
Right.
The problem now, we don't care about what we are eating. We drink the most expensive wine, but the most expensive wine have most toxic thing. There are more chemical in there than normal wine.
Pesticides,
Yeah,
sulfites,
and everything.
Right.
So if we care about our food, about what we are eating, so we'll care about farmer. And then when we care about farmer, farmer will care about the soil, the water, the plant, how they can grow in the most sustainable way. Grow forever, produce for us forever, never end.
Right.
But now, when we don't care about what we are eating, we just support farmer to rob the soil.
Right.
Take everything as much as you can. You don't care the soil will be alive or not.
Right.
So when we eat like this, it have the big impact to society.
Right.
Because more people will be poor. A few people will be more rich because they make money from being the middle person. And in the same time, farmers have to struggle a lot to survive. So they have to use more chemical, burn more forest,
Right.
destroy more things. And then environment collapse, everything collapse. That's the end.
Right.
That's why I feel like city people is the most important factor, the most important person who can help to change the world, to make things better. Because if they eat good food, it will change a lot. If they start to think about themselves, love themselves more, care about themselves more, the impact will care about everything in the world. Will care about people, nature, everything. Will be good.
Right.
How can we love ourselves? This is the most important thing now.
That's all I talk about. Yes. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. Yeah.
This is what we have to do now. Even you are in the city or in anywhere on this earth, we need to connect ourselves to ourselves and connect ourselves to the food, to everything around us. When we connect together, we will understand the truth that we are one. If we hurt ourselves, that means we hurt everything around us. So, if we love ourselves, that means everything around us will be loved too. So, I think this is what everybody have to think about before we die. We cannot just born to be a good slave, work very hard and eat garbage and get sick and die. Is that all we need in our life? So I think if we think in this way, we'll have more fun. We enjoy our life more. Because everywhere we go, we can laugh with everybody. Because they are one part of us.
Right.
When we don't want to take advantage of people, when we love other people, everything be fun. It looks like too optimistic, but it can be realistic. Because we have been living like this for a long time. In my life, I experience a lot of this feeling. That's why I feel like it's not optimistic. It's real.
Right.
It's something can happen because it used to happen before. It has changed when we start to have money system, when we believe, when we have faith on money more than God, more than the religious that we believe. So we can sell our religious to money. That's why we don't know anything now. Yeah.
So much has been lost. There's this idea, I believe it's in Ghana in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Sankofa. It's one of their words.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for a bird that travels with an egg in its mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And it has its head turned back behind it. So the concept is the bird goes back and grabs this egg. So it's a good thing actually to look into your past to be able to take the things that are valuable out of it, which I think is really important now that a lot of us, people my age, people younger, even people older than me who are just not there mentally and spiritually, we don't look back enough at what our ancestors did and what the people, like you're saying, that live with the land, what they did. And I think it's very important for us to realize there's a lot of almost like gold, treasure there, because it's like what you're saying, the oneness Everyone's divided now because of money, because they think that I have to do this or I have to do that, because if I don't, I'm living in scarcity. But if they have spent a lot of time in nature, they see that there is no scarcity.
Yeah.
You take
Yeah.
care of the soil and the soil takes care of
Yeah.
you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think look back, learn about where are we come from, know about our roots is the most important thing, because now we don't have roots. We just jump into industrial. We think scientific thing, invention thing will bring us to all solution.
Right.
But the more we go, we feel more lonely. We feel more problem. We have a lot of problems that we cannot solve. So it just dead end there. Because we develop a lot now, but everything's so expensive. And how many people can access to those things? And then we develop a lot. The more you develop, the more you work hard.
Right.
So what's the point?
Right.
You have fancy car, but you have to work. A lot of millions of people work with no sleep, no time to take a break in their life. They have to work a lot and eat very bad, not enough food to eat, just to make a few people have a fancy car.
Right.
So I feel like it's important to come back to think about what do we really need now.
Right.
If we come back to ourselves more, think about ourselves more, we will see different picture from what we can see now. We can see that there's so many beautiful things around here.
Right.
There's so many nice people around here.
Right.
So why we have to feel bad? Why we have to feel sad? Why we have to be depressed? Just jump out to the world and enjoy the bird, enjoy the food. Everywhere is food.
Right.
Just eat, enjoy it.
Right. It's very simple, yeah.
Yeah. And then after we enjoy a lot, we can die happily.
Right.
We don't worry when we will die. But if we have to work and never enjoy anything, when we're going to die, we feel sad, we feel bad, we have to struggle a lot because we don't want to die.
You're very scared.
Yeah, because we haven't done anything that we like to do yet.
Right. And
But we
that's so
die
sad.
already.
That is so sad.
Because we spend so much time in our life to do something that we don't want to do.
Right.
So just do it now. That's the most important thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Very true. Yeah, even now, this is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And just hearing. I can spend so much time just sitting and listening to the birds. You start to realize there's so many rhythms, there's so many different songs. I'll even start to hear differences in the way the leaves rustle. I notice things like leaves can sound like running water, there's different wind speeds. All of these different things just by sitting and being still and not doing anything. That helps you to understand the oneness that you're talking about.
Yeah.
You really realize energetically, it looks like we're separate, right? It seems like we're not part of everything that's happening here. But when you close your eyes and you're really still, you remember, you come from this, you are this. We are only made of elements of earth.
Yeah.
Zinc, magnesium, silicon. Like we're literally made.
Yeah.
Iron is, all of our blood is iron.
Yeah.
That's a metal.
Yeah.
And water. So we're made of all of these things here
Yeah.
around us, and we get so distracted by everything outside,
Yeah.
especially in this city where some people don't have access to places like this, to where they get lost in it, and they don't understand that they're a part of everything.
Yeah. I feel like now we forgot that we are just a tiny piece of the real body of ourselves. We think we are the most powerful animal in the world. But actually we're just like a hair, a piece of hair of the elephant, of the horse,
Right. Right.
but we're so elegant.
Right.
That's why we
Very.
suffer so much now. We think we are clever, but if we are really clever, why we have to design our life to be too complicated like this?
Right.
Why we have to design our life to eat the worst food in the history of human?
Right.
Why we have to work more than anybody in the history like this? If we're clever, why we have to do it?
Right.
So I think we think we are too good,
Right.
but actually we are nothing.
Right.
So now is the time to think about when we can make everything so complicated, so hard to live, to survive. How can we make it easy? Because when we can make it hard, why we cannot make it easy? That's the question that I'm thinking a lot. I try a lot to learn. Because to make it easy, it must be easier than to make it hard.
Right.
So when we try to live like this, I feel like it's easier and easier and better and easier. Now I just enjoy what I want to do every day. I don't need to plan and I don't need to think. If I walk there, I saw weed, I saw the vegetable, it looked wilted. That means not enough water. I will water it.
Right.
And I saw some bean, some papayas ripe. I just eat it. So
True.
I don't need to do thing much.
Right.
In the last 30 years, I did not listen to music. I did not watch movie. I stopped reading books. I stopped everything like that. Before that, I loved everything like this.
Mm-hmm.
But in the last 30 years, I feel after I moved to live like this, I feel like I don't have time to read. I don't have time to listen to music. No time for movie because everything's around me.
Right.
Yes, the big library is here.
Right.
Just sit and observe. We know everything. And then we connect with everything easily. And when we taste it, we understand it immediately without reading it.
Right.
And then I don't listen to the music because everything around me is music already.
Right.
So it's so nice. Just sit quietly. You can hear so many things. So relaxed and nice. Is there anything better than this on this earth? The sunset, the sunrise
Right.
with the warm sunlight.
Right.
So beautiful. When we look very far away, we can see how big is the universe. How big is myself.
Right.
It's so nice to be one part of this universe.
Right.
Just enjoy it. Don't run away from it. So if we don't do much, we can enjoy it. But if you do a lot, change a lot of things in the nature, that means we run away from the nature.
Mm-hmm.
The more we run away, we will work harder and harder and harder. The more we work, we will be more exhausted and tired and weak. Our body weak, we can heal it easily. Just take a rest, take a shower, have a good drink, you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
But our spirit weak, we don't know how to take care of it
Right.
because we did not learn how to deal with inside of us because we ignore it for a long time. Most of our life, we just ignore the inside part of our life. We just spend most of time with outside, with something where far away. We don't know.
They're not the right kind of outside.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people spend a lot of time with money, with cryptocurrency, with job, with the movie star, with the singer, but never come back to ourselves.
Right.
We can spend so much time outside, but we cannot spend even 1 minute per day to be with ourselves,
Right.
to come back then, to enjoy that we are still breathing now. It's so beautiful that we can breathe. It's so nice to be in the good, fresh air. It's so nice to get the warm sunlight. So beautiful. Why we have to run away from the beauty?
Right. Because we've been taught to do that.
Yeah.
So many people have been taught. And I think that's the reason there aren't more people like this, is because the school systems they go to, all of this teaches you, you need to do this, you need to do that. Parents don't parent their kids anymore. They
Yeah.
send them to the government. For,
Yeah.
for the government to teach
Yeah.
them, you should know this, and you should act this
Yeah.
way. They're not at home anymore.
Yeah. The school is a slave factory.
Right.
They just a big factory, put the very good person into the factory, and it will come out when they become the finished product,
Right.
become a good slave.
Right.
Don't think about love, don't think about freedom, don't think about happiness. Just think about money and work, 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 and die.
Right.
That's the robot that the factory produced us to be.
Right.
So I feel like we don't need to go to school like that. We can create our own education system. The most important thing that we need to learn is learn about food. Because we eat food every day. We need to learn what kind is edible, what kind is not edible, how to cook them, how to eat them, how to grow them, how to raise them. And if we don't like farming, if we don't like to grow them, we need to know who grow them.
Right.
So if we learn something like this, wherever we are, we don't worry about food.
Right.
But now, we were trained to eat only tomato, lettuce, carrot, and beef, pork, chicken, eggs,
Right.
and then a few kind of grain
And bananas.
and banana.
Bananas are everywhere.
Yeah. So when we have no this thing in the market, we starve to death.
Right.
We suffer. It's become crisis. Why around us full of food? Everything's edible around us. But we starve to death in the middle of food. This is the most sadness feeling when I think about the way we develop now. We know so much. We know how far from the moon, from the sun. We know how to make cell phone. We know how to make spaceship. We know everything. But we don't know what we are eating now.
Right.
We don't know what's edible, what's not edible. That's sad to me.
Right.
So, at the good education, we need to learn about the 4 basic needs. Food. Where's the food come from? How to grow them. Shelter. How to build our own house. It's not hard to build a house, but we never learn.
Right.
If we learn, we'll have a lot of fun. Even 9-year-old kids can build their own house. But now many people finish university, they get a good job, but they don't know how to make a house. They have only money.
Right.
When the money have inflation or the money collapse, they become like a worm in a rock, hot rock. They don't know what to do, don't know where to go. So
Right.
it's so sad. I think the main education we need to start from learn about food, about shelter, about daily needs, what we use in daily life.
Right.
How to make things that we use every day. Soap, shampoo, detergent, toothpaste, sauce, yogurt, any kind of sauce that we eat. So to learn this thing, it doesn't take 4 years like in university.
Right.
And then you don't need tons of money like in university. But when you learn, you can use it immediately. Whenever you learn about food, you can eat it. It can fill up your stomach and make your body strong immediately. But when you learn in the university, you don't know how to use it. You just remember it. that they said this thing will be like this thing will be like this, but you don't know how to use it.
Right.
When you have to work, you need to be trained to be able to work. So I think it's very wrong, the education system we have now.
Right.
So if we start from the basic need, food, shelter, daily needs, and basic healing, if we know these four things, it's become our good base. If we have a strong base, we will not fall easily.
Right.
We're stable, we are firm. So after we have good base, we can do anything. You can learn to be doctor, you can be astronaut, you can be anything, that's fine.
Right.
But the base have to be strong first. Because our life, it can collapse anytime. You don't know. And the most important thing is understand the connection between our life and everything. It's a very important thing. Because now we were disconnected. We don't understand that we connect with everything in the world.
Right.
So we just deceive ourselves that we are the most clever. We just focus in one thing, but we don't know anything around us.
Right.
We become specialists, but we don't know anything except what we are specialists.
Right.
So that's why it makes the thinking of human very dangerous now, because we start to isolate ourselves more and more and more. And the most scary thing is we start to destroy ourselves. But we don't believe that we are destroying ourselves. We believe that we are developing.
Right.
We are making better.
Right.
But actually, we ruin everything.
Right.
So the wrong understanding is the most dangerous thing. Misunderstanding is the most scary thing. It's like people who have sickness, but when they don't believe that they get sick, they will never think about how to find a way to heal, to treat themselves.
Right.
And when they believe that to get sick is good thing, get sick is you will develop yourself into something else. When you believe like that, you never think about to solve the problem.
Right.
It's the same way, like now, all of us become slave. But we never think that we are slave. We believe that we have so much freedom in the world. So much freedom. But actually we work harder than any slave in the history.
Right.
For what? We don't know.
Right.
But we still keep working
Right.
and dying.
Right.
So when people don't believe that we are slaves, nobody think about freedom. Because we think this is the best already.
Right.
So that's the sadness part of what we are doing now.
Right. You never want to leave the cage if you never think you're anyone.
Yeah. I think this is the most important thing that we need to learn. We need to think about it now before it's too late.
Right.
When it's too late, we cannot solve anything because we will die.
Right.
We cannot do anything when we die.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we're still alive, we can travel, we can move. Just do it. Don't waste our time. That's
Right.
the most important thing.
It's very true.
Yeah.
And a lot of it too is going beyond fear, because so many people are afraid. Even my family, from where I come from, they think I'm crazy. They think I'm crazy. So I know that there's a lot of fear around moving away from what you feel like is your safety.
Yeah.
Because your family is supposed to be your tribe. They're supposed to want what's best for you, right? You think that's the way to survive. And your psychology thinks that's the best way to survive. So it can be hard sometimes to break away from that and to be different. Especially since the older generations that I've experienced, in America at least, they think their way is the right way and not to change that at all.
Yeah.
But their way is the way of death, is the way of progress that is backwards. So it can be very hard, I feel, for some people to break out of that. For those people, what would you say is a good way to shake that? Because it's scary to think you'll be on your own sometimes.
Yeah, It's hard because when people believe in something seriously, it's hard to change. Because normally we cannot change people. They have to change themselves.
Right.
But people will change themselves when they understand something. But it's hard to understand things because in the world now we are not trying to understand things, but we try to remember things.
Right.
We read a lot, but we don't do anything.
Right.
That's the main problem. That's why we cannot understand anything in the world. We can remember information. We are like a computer. We can remember it, but we never understand it. Understanding comes from doing things, come from facing something. When we do it, experience it, you will understand it.
Right.
But the education system we have now, they don't want us to understand anything. They just want us to remember as much as we can.
Right.
Why we have to do that? Because we have computer everywhere now.
Right.
But when we have too much remembering in our head, there's no space for imagination, no space for dream.
Right.
Because we just believe that we know a lot. I'm better than other people. I'm special. And then we cannot open for anything anymore after that.
Right.
That's why we stuck in the cage of thinking. We cannot go out. We cannot change. So mostly people will learn when the crisis happen. In the Chinese way, they said, you will not cry until you see the coffin. So when somebody die, we can think about that person is good, is important. But when they are alive, we never honor them. We never care about them. So it's the same thing now. People just enjoy consuming, enjoy a lot. And then we never think about it's going to end one day. It's going to collapse one day because everybody consume, but not many people who produce.
Right.
What will happen? That's the end. But we think it's progress.
Right. Right.
Now everybody consume the natural resources all over the world.
Right.
We use everything, all the mineral and the ground, we dug it up.
Right.
All the tree, we cut it down. All the clear water, we toxicate. We make it.
Yeah, chemicals,
Yeah.
pesticides.
Yeah, we make it
herbicides.
become some kind of thing that we cannot drink it anymore.
Right. Poison.
Poison, we poison everything.
Right.
But we call this thing progress
Right.
or development.
Right.
So this is a thing that we need to think about. That most of people who just enjoy, because we create the system that we can consume as much as we can. The system don't want us to know what will happen, what's the impact of that thing.
Right.
Like now, we eat animal, but we never kill animal.
Right.
But they make a slaughterhouse. So people feel like I'm a good person. I did not kill animal.
Right.
I'm good. Anybody who kill animal are bad person. Most of people believe like that.
Right.
But actually, we who eat animal are the one who order to kill.
Right.
And then when we did not see the way they kill, they raise them, they torture animal.
Right.
They raise animal in the most unhealthy way to feed us now.
Right. There's no honor.
No honor, yeah, no respect.
Right.
So that's why we consume a lot, but not many people to grow to produce more.
Right.
So this is the part that most of people never think about it. So I think it can lead to the biggest crisis soon.
Right. Easily. Yeah, I think people think all of the things are unlimited and they don't really concern themselves with whether or not it will run out. because the earth is so abundant and because there is so much for us to be able to use without consequence, that they don't think there might be consequence later down the line, which is a crazy way of thinking and living. But it's also a beautiful thing how I think life is just so forgiving. So forgiving, because even though humanity has done all these terrible and destructive things and put so much poison in the waterways, poison in the soil, killed so much life.
Yeah.
Even the slaughterhouses. This is why I don't eat meat. Is because the way they treat these animals. It's different if I travel somewhere and they honor the animal, they thank the animal for their sacrifice, and then they take the life of that animal and they've raised that animal. Completely different energy than an animal from these factory farms where the animals, like you're saying, abuse the whole life. They feed them processed foods that give them cancer. So you're eating cancerous meat anyway. It's just so much, so backwards.
It's so sad. If we know where the food come from now, we don't want to eat anything.
Right.
If you go to see the chicken farm, you never want to eat the chicken. If you see the chicken eggs farm, you don't want to eat eggs anymore.
Right.
Because we torture everything like a pig. People eat a lot of pig, a pork. And then one life have to grow up in small cage.
Right.
For 6 months.
Right.
Never move, never turn left or right. All their life. And one day they need to be slaughtered and eaten. So we eat the sick animal.
Right.
A lot of poison, a lot of hormone, a lot of chemical in there.
Right.
And they are so weak, less nutrition. This is the food that we are developing now. And we think we are successful. We are so successful because we can produce a lot of meat in a small area in very short time.
Right.
We're so proud of this. But nobody think about, is it safe to eat it?
Right.
Is it fair to eat
Right.
food like this with very expensive price?
Right.
Yeah. So I think because we were disconnected, that's why we don't know anything.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Me personally, I've always really loved nature. My mom wasn't really there when I was growing up. So whenever I would go outside and I would sit with the trees, I would catch the lizards or play with the bugs. To me, I realized I could learn so many things from the animals and the trees and the leaves that felt like my mother. And to me, Mother Nature has been that very, very realistically for me. And I know a lot of people don't experience that where I come from.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, what would you say is a good way for people? Imagine somebody who's gone to public school all of their life. They don't know anything about anything. They think eating the factory meats is good. They don't even know about pesticides or the effects they have on their body. What would you say they should start their journey by doing?
I think it's maybe easier to start by going out to the nature sometime, camping, or take a walk, or go to volunteer with farmers sometime. So at least just bring ourselves to be with the soil, with the earth a little bit.
Right.
And we can see that a handful of dirt. There's so many things in there.
Right.
You can see many kind of bugs in there. And then there are so many things that you can see by your eye, but you don't need to worry about that. But what you can see, there's so many things in there.
Right.
And then just only one in the bed of the garden, in the bed of vegetable. You just go in there and then open it and see what's in there.
Right.
There's a lot of fun thing to see.
Right.
There's a lot of things. That's why the kids here, we do homeschooling here. Because we think if they are here, they learn more than they go to the school. Without teaching them. because they run around. They just grab that, grab this, they dig that, dig this.
Right.
They know everything. And they eat that, eat this thing. They know everything.
Right.
But when they go to school, they have to be in the square room 6 hours per day and then see the same person all the time.
Right.
You can't see anything, only table, chair, and then the board.
Right.
There's no life there. There's nothing to learn. So
Right.
I personally, we need to change the school system. Take down the room. The kids have to get out of the room, the classroom, because the world has so many things to learn
Right.
and so much fun to learn outside of the room. And you
Yes.
learn so much. So the kids here, we did not teach them much, but they know so much. So
I flick him off one part, it goes to another. You see?
yeah. Yeah. They just want to be with us.
He's always with us. He's always part of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I completely agree. It's definitely being outside a lot. Like I tell you, when I was small,
Yeah.
I learned so much. And nature speaks. Nature speaks. And everyone always asks me, why do you love nature so much? Why do you love being outside so much? Like, you guys, there's so much happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of the time. So I completely agree that because that's the way we always were as humans too. I think it wasn't until like the 1960s that they decided kids are going to start going to school and take them away from their families. So that's when I think we really hit this fast track of destruction and chaos to where nobody even knows what they're eating anymore, which is wild. But yeah, I think it's definitely important, and I really like the suggestion that you made to have people volunteer with farmers. That might be tough, I think, because I've met some farmers. I don't know what they're doing. Not in a sense, I'm not a farmer. I don't mean this is not how you farm, but in a sense that I have studied regenerative agriculture and permaculture design, and there are some things where they prefer to use chemicals, or they prefer to destroy the land to be able to plant one crop rather than having everything mixed together, or have this here and that there. So it's very interesting to see, not all farmers are the same.
Yeah. They are not the same. Everywhere, nothing the same.
Right.
Anything nature, there's no recipe.
Right.
There's no formula that you can put everywhere. So everywhere is unique. So farming is unique
Right.
everywhere. So there's so many choice, many solutions, many ways we can do farming. But mainly people just addicted to chemical
Right.
because they think it's easy, because they don't need to work much. But when they use chemical, they stop learning.
Right.
And then their thinking will be closed more and more and more. And then at the end they think there's no way you can grow food with no chemical.
Right.
They will believe like that.
Right.
Because when they use it, it's very addictive. But if we come back to do it ourselves, to learn about farming, how can we do farming in the easiest way and cheapest way? Don't stick with any theory.
Right.
You will see that farming is the universe. You learn every subject in the farming. When you open your mind, you learn science, you learn history, you learn geography, you learn everything in there. So it's the real university. That's why farming, there's no recipe. Don't stick with any theory. Everywhere is not the same.
Right.
Just try. The main thing is observe and experiment, observe and experiment. And then we will discover the easiest way, the cheapest way. So many farmers now, they learn to do like this more and more, because when they do conventional farming, there's no choice, just dead end waiting for them there. because the price of fertilizer rising up, and then everything the price go up, has gone up so far, but the price of their produce still low.
Right.
How can they survive? That's why farming, we need to think another way. We cannot do this old way anymore.
Right.
The old way is chemical way. That
Right.
doesn't work anymore now. So many countries they survive. All farmers all over the world now, especially in developed country, they survive because of the subsidies from the government.
Right.
Without subsidies, they cannot survive
Right.
because it's not real thing.
Right.
So we're deceiving ourselves. We are in some illusion world or something like that.
Right. Yeah, La La Land.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. And then there are also seed patents,
Hmm.
like them putting, what is it, patents on seeds
Mhm.
to stop others from using certain seeds. So that, even them saying, I'm going to make a law or rule about what seeds you can and can't have, that is crazy.
That's the most ugly thing in the world that we have now, because the seed is heritage of every life.
Right.
Because of our ancestors, so many generations, we don't know who they are. They develop the best thing. They select the best thing and send to us for many generations. So we have the best thing to eat now because of their work.
Right.
But none of them claim that they own it.
Right.
But now, just a few people just grab it and change a little bit. It's mine. I patent it.
Right.
This is the way they rob the food from the world. But they use the law to make robbery look good.
Right.
So I think it will not last long.
No?
No, because it's going to collapse. This system.
Oh, right. I thought you meant the seed patents. So I was like, how do you think we get around that? Because I've seen, especially in India, there are a lot of farmers starving and taking their own lives because of the seed patents and certain, Roundup that they're having. Only the patented seeds are resistant to the Roundup for the crops, but all of the soil is polluted with the Roundup, so nothing else will grow. How do we figure this out? Do we just...
I think we need to come back to think about relying on ourselves more.
Right.
Collecting our own seed. Like now in Thailand, we just start a group we call Seed for People group.
Oh, wow.
So we start to train farmers to tell them that they are the best person who can develop seed,
Right.
who can produce seed, the good seed. Before that, they did that for many hundred years. But when we civilized, they said only scientists, only the researcher can do this. But actually, the company, the researcher or the scientists from the company, they did not do it. They hire a farmer to do it for them. They just come and record it.
Right.
So when we train farmers, you can do it yourself.
Right.
So they learn how to develop seed, propagate seed. So every year we plan to do training every month.
Right.
We want to have seed developer every part of the country. So we will produce seed, many hundred variety of seed every year come out. And this seed we will declare on the public that it's a public. It belongs to everybody.
Right.
This is the seed for people.
Right.
Nobody gonna own it. If some company want to own it, they can own it. But we can produce more,
Right.
more variety,
Right.
because we have more people to do it.
Right.
We don't care. So this is the way I think about, come back to think about self-reliance and
Right.
rely on ourselves, rely on each other. Just help each other. Create our own food system.
Right.
When we have this system, we will be independent. If company, the corporation, They want to patent whatever you want to, whatever you make it. We don't care. We can make our own food here. We don't care. So if we start to do this, we have farmer, we have food developer, we have consumer, we create our own communities. Community can be big, can be small.
Right.
It can be the whole country.
Right.
So this is the way I feel like it's the most peaceful way of fighting with the corporation.
Right. Create.
Yeah.
To create.
We need to do something new.
Right.
We cannot just protest.
Right.
We need to change ourselves. That's the main thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Because that's an amazing initiative. That's an amazing action to take and to involve everyone in it. That's really powerful. So thank you for that. It's beautiful. And that's something we should be doing everywhere.
Yeah. We try to connect with many groups too. Now we just started here, and we start to connect with another group in India, in Philippines, in China, in many countries. We will connect, and then we will share technique, share wisdom, share seed. Seed need to travel all over the world.
Right.
The seed has no border.
Right.
Seed has no passport.
Right.
Seed travel more than human.
Right.
But when we have border, they said this seed belong to this country. You cannot bring it across the border.
Right. They have taken so many seeds from me. Before I came here to Thailand, I had to stop at my mother agent's house because I needed to leave my seeds there because I knew they would take them from me when I came here. She said,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're bringing seeds."
Yeah,
Like,
when you
yeah.
come to Thailand, to developing country, it's okay. They don't care much about
Oh, they don't care?
No.
Any other country I've been, they always take my seeds. So this time I left.
Only developed country.
Ah.
Because when you develop a lot, you don't know anything. You have only fear that
Right.
the Aryan species will come to
Right.
attack you. That's all. Because they don't understand it.
Right.
So for us, the world, everything on this world, there's nothing alien here.
Right.
It belongs to every life.
Right.
So like in America, there's one kind of fish that Asian people bring to America to raise in the aquarium. And then when they don't like it, they don't want it, they release in the lakes or something like that.
Ah.
And then they propagate very fast.
Right.
And then they think it's like a dangerous species. It's going to make another species disappear. So they're afraid of it. They just put a lot of chemical to kill everything in there.
Right.
So they don't know what to do with it.
Right.
But for us, those fish is so delicious, so good. Instead of spend a lot of money to get rid of them from the lake, maybe just take 2 families from Thailand to stay there 1 month. They catch all of them
Right.
because they're so tasty, just
Oh,
good.
wow.
Yeah,
Huh.
there's many things like this because
Right.
people don't know, they don't understand. That's
Right.
why they have more fear. Like water hyacinth, the plant that's floating on top of the water, they expand very fast. So people think it's alien species. It spreads so fast. Nobody wants it because it clogs the canal, it make the water in the pond go bad or something like that. But for us, it's the best compost. Just take them,
Right.
use them. That's God give to us
Right.
to
Abundance.
use. Yeah, it's abundant. But when we don't use it, we don't have anything to eat. And we said, we have problem.
Right.
And then when we don't use it, they grow fast because their intention of the plant or animal, they have to propagate to feed the world.
Right.
When we don't eat them, they have a lot.
Right.
And they think, and then we think it's a problem, they have too much.
Right.
So that means we have problem. The world has no problem.
Right. Right.
The nature has no problem.
Right.
Our thinking have problem. our way of living has problem.
Right. I think that is actually one of the most valuable lessons I got from learning regenerative agriculture was that everything that you think is a problem is a solution to something else. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, this completely changed my mind about everything.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's really amazing when you think, especially when you start thinking of things that way. Okay, how is this serving me? Because it's never a problem. Everything happens for a reason. So in what way am I meant to use what's in front of me right now? Is the question you have to ask.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, because like you said earlier, use what 5 things to eat all of the time. They never think maybe I can eat this. Maybe I should look up the plants
Yeah.
because we have so much on our phone. I have so many apps to identify plants on my phone. I can tell what I can eat in 2 minutes or less.
Yeah.
So we have the technology at our fingertips to tell us, can I eat this? Is this poisonous? Or like you're saying, can I compost this? Can I create some other form of life? Or maybe there's someone down the street that you didn't know about that actually has an animal that will eat whatever you have excess of. So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting. The life is beautiful. And it's funny in that way too, I think.
Yeah. Since I live like this, I can see very clear that the world has no problem. Only our thinking has problem.
Right.
So if we try to understand the world, understand the nature, we can see a lot of solution. But if we don't try to understand that, but we just try to manage it, to control it by use technology, use science knowledge or scientific knowledge or something like that, we'll stuck.
Right.
Because everything has its own way to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything is perfect as it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's perfect. Beauty, peaceful.
Yeah. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
sharing all of your wisdom, your time, your space.
Thank you
Your
for
rose
coming
apple.
too. I'm so happy that the new generation, young people like you, interested about something like this. I think it's this the gift for the earth. That's very important.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because not many people care. So you are doing the best thing now. Just do it.
Thank you.
It's not only for us, it's for everything.
Right. Give me goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it makes me just want to cry because I know it's not me. Like yes, I'm here. I exist in this vessel, in my body, but it's not just me. It's all of the people that come after me. It's all of the people that came before me. Everything they worked for, like the seeds you're talking about. To honor them, I need to do something to where I can make sure that the people that I love, just humanity in general, everybody, have to be fed. We have to have access to light, to food, to water, to sun. There should be no, oh, you have to pay this much to access the beach, or you have to pay this much to be able to eat food without chemicals in it. What? The tree made it for free. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just, it all really blows my mind how far we've come from Earth and that way of living. And it's just very interesting to me. And all I see in my path is being able to elevate people like you and give you whatever space you need and working together with everyone to where we all have our certain parts, our certain roles to play. Because we're all different. We all have different purposes. But we still fit together in this really, really beautiful puzzle that is life. And we all work together to create what's right again.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, something new, it's very ancient, but it's still new because we have to recreate it in a different way. It's very interesting how it works. So I'm very excited to see what the future holds. I know there are a lot of things we have challenges, I would say, challenges, but I'm excited to see the way that we overcome it because that is humanity,
Yeah.
and we have been doing that for centuries and centuries. So I look forward to seeing what that looks like, and I feel like the space you have here that you have created is a really, really good example of that. So I'm really thankful for you having me here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you found this conversation as helpful as I did, as inspiring as I did, and we will see you next time. Again, thank you to Mr. Jon Jandai.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching, and peace be with you.